result in wrongful convictions of people that probably don't even belong in prison. You can never put a price tag on human life or a person's life being taken based on injustice because of their race.
When the law is not made retroactive, what you're basically saying to me is that, okay, we admit that it was wrong, or we're not going to do it anymore, but anybody we victimize with that law, y'all stuck with that time. Y'all stuck in that situation. And that's the most unfair, unjust anything.
In my own trial in 1989, a juror called me a terrorist. I am not a terrorist. My charges had nothing to do with terrorism. But because the man called me a terrorist, it painted me in such a way that the jurors had a different way of looking at me, which made me feel uncomfortable. And they used my Muslim background to accuse me, and my skin color to accuse me of a crime I didn't have nothing to do with terrorism, and ultimately leading to my conviction of a crime I did not commit.
Unchecked racial bias from the prosecutor and law enforcement gang experts during trial led to Hugo being found guilty of a murder he did not commit and resulted in a sentence of 105 years to life. The prosecutor consistently used aspects of Latino culture and gang activity interchangeably, which created a racial bias against Hugo and young Hispanic males. The DA explicitly used the terms Hispanic street gang members continually throughout the course of the trial, associating gang activity with, I quote, a particular neighborhood, referencing the Alma Community Center as a breeding ground for gang members. This resulted in creating a racial bias so strong it inspired the juror to unreasonably believe her life was in danger, stating, and I quote, given the nature of the testimony and recurring people in the audience, that based on descriptions of what gang members look like and tattoos and so on, look possibly as if they're gang members, and it makes me uncomfortable. The juror came to the conclusion that a community advocate and myself, a hardworking man, the only two Hispanic males sitting in the audience, were there to harm her.
When you convict a person of a crime, especially a crime they did not commit, not only do they destroy the person, but they destroy his family and the home he has built. We are labeled as someone who is wrong, is no longer deserving to be part of society, even though we have served our time. My children grew up in a harsher environment than necessary because they did not have both parents in the home.
And so if we want real justice, man, if we want this utopian place in America where we're truly united and we're truly great, racism has to be extinguished. And I think once we do, we can heal. And the trauma, the ignorance, the hatred is the root cause of all America's problems. And when we heal, man, we'll really be great.
I'm praying and hoping that more justice like we saw in the George Floyd trial can be allowed to prevail. Just do what's right. Do what's right. You know, I'm begging and asking and praying that the is made in the consideration of Assembly Bill 256.